Please pray with me. Spirit of wisdom, minister to us, your people. The only truth be spoken, the only truth be heard. Amen. We're in the season of creation, and David, could you just move that a little bit to the side? There we go. And last week we were looking at Spirit around the world is calling us to a new relationship with Mother Nature and with creation. We looked at after how the trauma of the Black Plague in Europe in the 14th century, with 1 in 3 people dying. The story, a new story, an ugly story, took root that nature was cursed, that we were born cursed and sinful. And then science saw nature as a problem to be solved and something to be managed rather than to work in harmony with. And we find ourselves in a crisis today where pollution of all kinds is poisoning all of our life earth systems, the earth, the sky, the water. And today I want us to look at how when we change our understanding of God from being a being to being a presence that is in and through everything, it changes our lives so much. Because when God is a being, that being can seem so far away and inaccessible. But when we understand that God is the force, as they say in Star Wars, or spirit, as Jesus taught, then it's accessible because it's a part of us. We're not the cursed ones who have to hide until we do the right thing to get God to pay some positive attention to us. No, we have a loving daddy, as Jesus called him, Abba Father. And it's so easy to feel overwhelmed by life, to find life confusing, the problem's too big, and we can feel powerless and insignificant, and it can overwhelm us at times, and we can lose our faith to risk, to give generously, to work for causes, to help out, to be kind. We can kind of retreat into our own isolation, making the problem worse. And so when we connect to the glory around us and the beauty around us, and when we live with an awareness that we are part of this divine presence, then we're made to feel that we can make a difference, that it's our birthright, but we've got to connect. We've got to be a part of the big picture. Now, the captains of industry, when the King James was translated, they translated the word for one of the 7 deadly sins as sloth. And especially as white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, the greatest sin we can commit is laziness. Because we've been made to feel down through the years that that's a bad one. That's a big bad one. But in fact, when that word was created sloth, that was a time when the captains of industry wanted 14-hour days, 6 days a week, alongside 12-year-old children. Otherwise, you were slothful and lazy. But the Latin word acedia, that's translated sloth, really means apathy. And apathy is such a bigger challenge to ourselves today than laziness. In fact, it's apathy that makes us lazy. Apathy is not having anything meaningful for us to get up to do in the morning, not having anything important that we need to do, that we feel good about doing. As Johnny Paycheck sang, take this job and shove it. I ain't working even no more. Why? My woman done left and took all the reasons I'm working for. When we don't have the reasons to be our best selves, we're apathetic. We give up when the pain and struggle of life seems too much. And there's such a risk today that our children and grandchildren will feel overwhelmed by the climate crisis and feel apathetic before they get started in life. Because unless they feel connected to the magic, to the grace, they'll feel overwhelmed and just retreat into their little world of screens. Worry is another form of apathy. It's hard to have much get up and go when we're worried. That's why the 2 main messages of Jesus was, fear not and love. Because you need to be able to risk. You got to have faith to love. You got to believe it'll do some good. And so the message of our spiritual ancestors over and over, have faith. Have faith. Don't be afraid. And love. And our story today says, don't worry about your life. what you eat of your body. Consider the ravens. Somehow they can fit. And can you add a single second on your life by worrying? You may be able to reduce maybe your life a little by worrying, but you can't add to it. And consider the flowers. Somehow they manage to grow and look beautiful without worrying. Jesus knows we need to be a part of that, to feel that we're a part of it instead of trying to grasp onto things. And the tighter we grasp, it's like trying to hold on to water. It just slips through our fingers. Julian of Norwich, a female theologian in the 14th century who wrote the oldest surviving spiritual book by a woman that we have, speaks of this connection to God in all things as one. Meister Eckhart, a leading German theologian at the same time, before the doctrine of sin took over, speaks of breakthrough. In breakthrough, I learned that God and I are one. Our souls long for us to give some time and attention to the ecstasies that we all get to share in common. Jesus mentions the birds and the flowers. Take a really long and good look at them. The poet Bill Emerson writes, most people experience God in nature or they don't experience God at all. That's how important our relationship with Mother Nature is. It's so easy to fall into ecstasy if we are sitting by the sea, watching the never-ending undulating waves, or walking barefoot on an earthen field with sunshine on our backs, or finding a lone spot with the pine tree at the peak of a mountain, or catching the fragrance of a lily bush in our neighbor's lawn, gazing up at the lightning bug-like stars flickering in a black summer night, or listening to the rain. Ecstasy is an experience of standing outside of ourselves, discovering what we usually forget, that we are the sea, we are part of the sky, we are the earth, we are of God. Today's science points out that we're literally made of the stuff of the stars, the sea, and the earth. We share in common the entire cosmos with all its atoms and molecules and a common 13.5 billion year history. I was fishing up north with a buddy a couple of weeks ago. We only caught a couple of fish because we were tuned in to the beautiful lakes up in the Toboggan, the beautiful forests, the sun was shining. There were no engine noises. Oh, I love it. I love the sound of just silence except for the birds and nature. It was ecstasy. It moves you beyond your small self to be a part of it all. A hunting friend of mine says that the real joy of hunting is getting up before dawn, stalking in fields where only you and the early morning dew and the animals exist. These are divine ecstasies. In experiencing the ability of nature to exist and evolve and overcome destruction and be beautiful at the same time, we forget about our smallness. We need these spiritual ecstasies. They cure apathy. They give us reassurance and hope, increase our faith and confidence to live generous lives of kindness, respect, and fairness. I was talking to a young man connected to this church. I've been talking to him over a while, and he just struggles with apathy. And I said, do an experiment. Take a month or a week, whatever you think you can handle, and just focus every day on finding opportunities to be kind. I got an email from him at 11 o'clock last night. He says, I can't believe all the amazing things that have happened since I focused on being kind. We got time. There's experiencing us as being part of the divine. Life offers us these many opportunities, but often we don't see them. But when our hearts are open to God, when we see God in the good energy that surrounds us, dancing, music, laughter, games, joyful moments shared with others, celebrating is forgiving in order to remember, a loss of ego for the sake of a greater communion of the ecstasy shared. There's an ecstasy of serving. Parents who pass on the joy of living to their children. Teachers who arouse the ecstasy of thinking in their students. Musicians who touch people deeply. First responders who assist others in dire circumstances. Scientists Hey there. You guys are having some ecstasy right now, eh? Scientists alerting us to global warming and what we can do about it. Community organizers who arouse us to justice making. We're twice blessed when we live jobs that can become our ecstasy. You know, it's fair time. When we go to the Western Fair, are parents just enjoying the rides, or are they taking their kids through to see the vegetables and the animals and pointing out to them, this is part of the magic and you're part of that too? Telling them about how farmers borrow money and work hard and they do it because they got faith that the autumn's going to come, that harvest is going to come. They've got faith in that God of harvest, and they know they're a part of it. I conclude with another writing by Meister Eckhart. He puts it this way: the moment I flowed out from creation, all creatures stood up and shouted, behold, here is God! And they were correct. For you asked me, who is God? What is God? I replied, isness. Isness is God. Where there is isness, there God is. Creation is the giving of isness from God. And that is why God becomes where any creature expresses God. Isness is so noble. No creature is so tiny that it lacks isness. If a caterpillar falls off a tree, it climbs up a wall in order to preserve its isness. So noble is isness. What is God? God is. Apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things. Every single creature is full of God and is a book about God. Every creature is a word of God. If I spent enough time with the tiniest creature, even a caterpillar, I would never have to prepare a sermon. So full of God is every creature. Isn't that cool? To just be a part of that. Consider the lilies, Jesus said. They're so beautiful without toil and worry. So let us let go of grasping what slips so easily through our fingers when life offers us the opportunity to enter the water and have the water grasp and hold us. Thanks be to God.